documentation behind the spread of virus via mass vaccinations is very thorough and very obvious. So this year, well, late last year, but the 2019-20 flu vaccination season, I call it the flu vaccination season, not the flu season. So in the last season in the Northern Hemisphere, they introduced a new vaccine, flu cell vax, grown in dog kidney tissues. Dogs have coronavirus, okay? There is the potential through mass vaccination to have seeded people so that they test positive for this coronavirus. There's also the potential through our own licensed vaccines to have seeded people with several other viruses so that they also test positive for coronavirus. Now, the interesting thing to me is when the World Health Organization and Scarborough, the vaccine manufacturer of this flu cell vax, you can go to their websites, and I must say everything I say I will document. I'm not making it up. It's verifiable. So I started looking into where has this come from? Why are we here? What's going on? And then you read that the old methodology of making flu vaccines involves, you know, the usual crystal ball gazing by the specialists as to what strains, and then they're inoculated into chick embryos. And this is problematic, people, because those chick embryos don't grow virus very well at all. They take a long, long time. So that by the time those poor viruses initially inoculated into those eggs emerge from the other end, they bear absolutely no resemblance to the strains identified for us to be at risk of in that flu vaccination season. You getting me here?
Yeah.
Right. So then enter the dog kidneys, because it can grow far more virus, bigger quantities, much more quickly, and absolutely take care of that gaping hole in the flu vaccine market for when we all start running out. Okay? So, to say that the only way out of this diabolical situation that has been imposed upon us is via a vaccine is a very scary thought.
Yeah.
Given that we've been duped into believing this annual flu vaccine, now they try and get people to have it twice in one season because it's so very short term, if any effectiveness. Sorry? Oh, and when they're pregnant, it's just terrible. Anyway, you get my point. We are not in a pandemic.
No,
we are in a carefully orchestrated pandemic response. And again, anybody can go back through the data, through the World Health Organization, through multiple agencies, and see just how hard they've been trying to get a pandemic off the ground. I mean, they tried with SARS in 2011 and failed. This time, they're better prepared. Not with a pandemic virus, mind you, but with a pandemic response. That's the bit they've got in place this time, and that's the bit they're hammering us with. By the way, I am told by the police to remind everybody to socially distance themselves. And
Everyone's laughing.
my take on that is that we're not idiots. I said to the guy this morning, and they're being very helpful. I said, if anyone hasn't got the message on social distancing by now, they must be under a rock for some time. Once we've finished here with the speeches, too, we will be going on a march, and the other message from the police is that because of the large numbers here, go you. We're going to have a police vehicle front and back to escort us down North Terrace.
Yeah. For a change.
So,
They're doing something good.
Who are the winners in this pandemic response? Big Pharma?
Woo! Elite.
Right. The first thing you hear is all of the billions of dollars being poured into Big Pharma all around the globe in this race for a vaccine. Because nothing will get back to normal, according to the experts, until we have a vaccine. Well, that is insane.
It is insane.
That is absolutely insane. What we're seeing here is a very, very effective capture of the adult vaccine market, and that too has been their golden agenda for some time now. We've got kids vaccinated. We haven't got the parents. We've got a lot of the parents on board through media and hate speech regarding anti-vaxxers. We've certainly silenced so many people, which is why they haven't been coming out like they are today to protest. So they got the kids rounded up and vaccinated. They got the media on board. They got the threats. They got the penalties. No subsidies at first, and now you can't even attend. So like that's a really big foot coming down on parents everywhere. So that when they have a baby, are they going to have a discussion about vaccines? No, they're under so much pressure. But the adult vaccine market is one they haven't been able to crack. So as they expand requirements for all sorts of workers beyond health workers, we come down with COVID-19 and suddenly everyone needs a flu vaccine in order to enter a nursing home, in order to keep their job. So, I mean, while they talk about this supposed saviour of a COVID vaccine that will need to be at least 30% effective, people, they also refer to the flu vaccine as somewhere between 20 and 50% effective. I mean, are we really buying this? Are we going to continue to buy this? Who's sticking out their arm for a trial? Back in the last...
Oh, hello, lovely.
Back in the last race for a vaccine, people will remember polio, the March of the Dimes.
Oh, no.
Right, we had polio. We needed a vaccine. There was a big race.
Hello. I made a friend.
Sorry, folks. So that last race for a polio vaccine to save the world back then, and that was also a lockdown situation in large parts of the world where, you know, swimming pools, public places were locked down.
Doggy just loves
So
me.
they came up with a vaccine, first of all an injected vaccine, and yay, we're going to save the world, but it very soon became apparent that it was causing paralysis in the recipients, and that was a big mistake. So they replaced it with another vaccine, which transferred monkey virus into the human race, causing cancers of the blood, bone and brain. And again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. If you want to see this, it's referenced material. As a conspiracy theorist, I'm guessing. Right. So a rush vaccine for a non-existent pandemic? No way.
No way!
It's ludicrous.
Fucking ludicrous.
The consequences of these lockdowns affecting families with separation. I've lost my business, shut down. You know, who else has
Shit.
woken up every day feeling like they've been punched in the stomach going, what the hell's happening here?
Yep.
It's alarming, it's causing anxiety.
Yep.
There are a whole range of consequences from this fake pandemic and this pandemic response, which is very much not fake at all. All right, I'm going to pass on to the next speaker. This is the plan. We go through several speakers here, and around 1 o'clock, we will gather at the corner, and then we will begin our march to Parliament House. We did put out for people to come forward and share stories, and several have, and they'll be included in the program. But please approach me if you have something you feel you need to say, and we'll endeavour to make sure that happens. I really just want to iterate again how wonderful it is to see so many people here today.
This doggy's just all out.
Woo! Next time we'll fill the parklands. Okay. I'm handing over to Diane McCann.